So I started this channel February 17th. Well, I started uploading videos to this channel February 17th of 2016.
So I've started a new channel so that I can kind of document a journey that I'm getting ready to go through. So I guess I should explain that. 2 years ago, I was weighing in right at or right under 200 pounds. I felt good. I looked good. Everybody was happy, including me. 2 days ago, I got on the scale at 246.9 pounds. Not feeling great, lots of aches and pains, just generally lethargic, getting sick more often, and realized that I can't do this anymore. I can't keep just saying, well, I'll deal with it later. I will change my diet as a New Year's resolution, or I will do this at this point. I'll change something about what I'm trying to do at a later time. 246.9 pounds is the heaviest I've ever recorded myself at. And when I saw that number, I decided right then and there it was time to change.
And for the weeks leading up to February 17th, I felt like I had like flu-like symptoms. I didn't feel well, and it just kept getting worse. And I figured it was a cold or the flu or something like that, and that if I just went about my daily life, it would go away. On February 22nd, Rachel decided that it was time for me to quit trying to push my way through it. Let's go to the doctor and let's find out, what we can do to get through this faster. Told them all my symptoms. They looked at me. They actually did some imaging to make sure it wasn't pneumonia. They wanted to make sure that there wasn't any fluid in my lungs, that sort of thing. And when the imaging came back, they immediately called the ambulance because they were able to tell that my heart was enlarged, and that's a big problem. But the point of the story is I ended up going to the hospital for quite a while. They actually admitted me fully on just after midnight on February 23rd, and I didn't get to come home until July 12th. So while I was in the hospital here in Colorado Springs, like the first half of my hospital visit, stay, whatever you want to call it, I was in a lot of pain. And after my first coma started about a week after I was initially hospitalized. After I came out of my first coma, the doctor that I talked to, like my main guy at that point, could tell that I was uncomfortable, and he wanted to do anything he could to help me. And I was kind of surprised. I mean, not that he wanted to help, but I was surprised in that he just came in and said, look, anything we can do, any kind of painkillers we can give you, anything you need, let me know and we'll try it. He had no reservations at all about letting me try any combination of whatever. And I think partially he could tell that I wasn't just there looking for drugs, that there was actually something very, very wrong. And because I was in a controlled environment, they weren't going to let me do anything stupid. So he basically just gave me full run of, here's what I'm going to start you on. If that doesn't work, let me know. We'll try something else. If that doesn't work, you don't like the side effects, whatever, we'll try something else. If you've got ideas, we'll try that too. Again, he had no reservation about letting me be in control of my pain management. And I really appreciated that. It took a situation that I felt completely out of control of and put me back in control of that situation, if only a little bit. Fast forward through a total of, 4 comas, 2 tracheotomies, chest tubes, lung biopsies, kidney biopsies, all kinds of imaging, cameras up my nose, bleeding from every orifice. Like, it was a craptastrophe last year. So finally, after they got me stable, it took them about 3 months to get me stable enough to actually diagnose me. Like, any of the tests that they needed to do to diagnose me could have killed me prior to them getting me stable. So they were very, very apprehensive. They were just fighting a blind battle just to get me stable so they could figure out what was wrong with me. After they got the diagnosis, which ended up being Wegener's Granulamatosis, they were able to really get in front of it, and they did amazing things to get me on the road to recovery, medically speaking. And I should give some explanation here. Wegener's Granulamatosis is a vasculitis, and in order to treat it, they had to put me on a lot of immunosuppression drugs for a while. And Basically, it first attacked my heart. That's where we saw the imaging at the quick care place. We saw that my heart was enlarged. That was the first step of it, and that's not always the case, but for me it was. And then after that, it went after my lungs. I had a couple of different alveolar hemorrhages, and that's basically where all of the little pockets in your lungs kind of rupture, explode, and all that air like escaped into my chest cavity. It inflated my chest. I nearly drowned in my own blood. That's actually why they put me in the first coma, was to drain my lungs and keep them drained. And they had to keep me in like the prone position. That's where I was laying on my stomach instead of on my back. It was really, really bad. Like I nearly died multiple times through the course of all of this. From there, like I said, once they got me stabilized and they got the treatment in front of me and I started to recover, I started having issues with pain, like a lot of issues with pain, even in addition to all of the stuff that they were doing. The meds that they were giving me were for like muscle pain and just overall body pain, that sort of thing. The problem was that a lot of times with Wegener's granulamatosis, which I guess now they're calling GPA, which is granulomatosis with polyangiitis. The problem with it, whatever you want to call it, is that it causes rheumatoid pain. That's pain in your joints, in your bones. It's pain. It's hard to describe. It's achy. It's miserable, and your over-the-counter stuff typically won't do much for it. So after I got home, after being in the hospital for nearly 6 months, I was on hydrocodone, which I've actually still got a prescription for here. And I was taking that for a while, and that was helping. And then it got to the point where my regular dose of hydrocodone wasn't helping. So I doubled my dose. I was taking 2 hydrocodone at night just to try to help me sleep. And that worked for a while, and then that quit working. And we added Flexeril, which is cyclobenzaprine, which is a muscle relaxer, and that worked for a while, or helped. Now keep in mind, this is 2 hydrocodone and a Flexeril. And that worked for a while, and then it quit working, so I added another one. So now I'm up to 2 hydrocodone and 2 cyclobenzaprine, and after a while that quit working. The pain was just too much. I wasn't sleeping. I was miserable. So they added trazodone to the mix, and I was taking 2 hydrocodone, 2 Flexeril, and a trazodone. And then after a while that quit working. So for a while I was taking 2 of each of these, total of 6 pills. Like your normal person, that would debilitate. And there were nights that I would take 2 of each and still not sleep for 2 or 3 days at a time. Even though I was taking them every night, 2 pills each. I talked to my rheumatologist. He's the guy that pretty much manages my condition at this point. And I asked him about things like medical marijuana, and I asked him about CBD oils, and he encouraged me to do it. I talked to my primary care physician, I talked to my nephrologist, I talked to my hematologist, I talked to all of my ologists. I talked to them all about it, and they all agreed that there was a really good potential that using cannabis or CBD oil could really help me manage the pain. So I went down to a dispensary here in town, and I picked up some CBD oil to put in a vape pen. After doing some research, I found that while CBD oil can help, if you ingest it orally, you may have to take more to get the same results, because it's got to be processed, through your liver and then into your bloodstream, and your liver can process out a lot of the stuff that's in that to help. So you'll get a very diminished dose of the same amount. So by vaporizing it or smoking it, you can it'll just hit your lungs and immediately go into your bloodstream. So you can take a smaller dose and get more benefit from it. So that's the route I chose to go. The problem ended up being that the CBD oil that I was getting had THC in it. It was like 70% CBD, but it was like 30% THC, and it was kind of the consistency of honey, which is neither here nor there, but it just kind of to give more description about the product I was using. I used this hybrid, if you will, for a couple of months, and I had really, really good results with it. So much so that I was able to actually come off of all of the opioids. It was really an incredible transition to be able to use CBD and not need the opioids to help manage my pain, because I was getting concerned that I was going to, if I kept on the road I was going to become addicted. And opioid addiction and overdose and death is a huge problem in America and really all over the world right now. I didn't want to be one of the victims of that. So I went with this CBD. I tried it for a couple of months it was like I said, 70% CBD and 30% THC. But I didn't like the little side effect. I wanted to feel more in control of myself throughout the day. I didn't want the THC, like if I had to get up and take the kid to school, or if I had a doctor's appointment, or if I needed to go to the store, I didn't want the effects of the THC. So recently on my other channel, I've got a tech review channel as well. A company reached out to me to work with them to review some of their tech products. So I got on the phone with the marketing department, who also had one of their managers on the line. They wanted their manager on the line so that I could talk to him and we could kind of get to know each other as well. So when the manager asked me where I was from, I told him Colorado, and we had some back and forth about that, and the weather and altitude and all of this stuff that people always ask when they find out you're from Colorado. It kind of clicked for him that because I was here and he knew that the medical marijuana was legal, he wondered if I had any familiarity or any whatever with or any experience with CBD oil, and I told him that I did, and that it was really working well for me as far as helping with my pain management and things like that. So he put me in touch with a colleague of his who runs a company now called Hemp Glory. And I've been working with them kind of for the last couple of months. They had sent me a kind of a prototype, a sample of a product that they had, and I was originally supposed to talk about that. When I was asking for more information, and he's like, wait, hold up. We've got something new coming out. Don't do the review on this one. Do the review on the one we've got coming out. So here a few weeks ago, they sent this over, a couple of weeks ago, I guess, and it's their Hemp Glory standard hemp oil. It's 300 milligrams of hemp extract. And I'm just looking over on my screen right here. It's 100% organic, non-GMO, THC free, and manufactured here in the U.S. But it's 1% pure hemp extract, and that's whether you get the 300 milliliter, which is what I've got here, or the 600 milliliter. It's all going to be the same 1% pure hemp extract. I tried it out. It doesn't taste great. Just to stick on your tongue, you can. You can just absolutely. Take your dropper here. That's about a dose. And it's got a very earthy flavor to it, like you might expect. But I also decided to try it in my vape pen, and it's actually in the other room. I'm not going to go get it. But I can mix that with just your regular e-liquid, whatever flavor you like, and it'll help. It'll definitely help with the flavor, and then of course vaporizing it, you're not going to be sticking it directly on your tongue, so it doesn't taste quite as earthy. I really wanted to take a moment. They asked me to do a video on it. I'm not getting paid for this, but they did send over this bottle so that I could give my opinion on their new product line. And I can say after trying it or using it for the last couple of weeks, I do that little dose that you saw about once a day. If I do it that way, otherwise I'll vaporize it. And I can say that I'm not on the opioids at all anymore, but my hands, my elbows, my wrists don't hurt like they did as a result of the Wegeners. It's the Hemp Glory product here, this hemp oil. I'm taking it every day. It's like 15 drops or half a milliliter is the recommended dose. Of course, if you're bigger than I am, I'm 5'11" and like 195 pounds. You may want to take more. And it says that right on their site, 15 is kind of the starter dose, and you can adjust from there. But definitely give this stuff a try. It's really made my life more manageable as far as my pain is concerned. And if you've got rheumatoid issues, I feel bad for you. I do, because I've got them as well. I can relate. It sucks. And if you don't, but you know somebody who's got rheumatoid issues, like rheumatoid arthritis or any kind of autoimmune disorders. Have them check this stuff out. I'll have a link to their website in the description down below. It's hempglory.com, and they were actually really cool, and they gave me a discount code, a coupon code, to give to you guys to give you 10% off your order. It doesn't matter what you order. Put in the code DBVlogs. That's DBVO or VLOGS. I'll put that in the description as well. It'll give you 10% off your purchase. I will say there's one caveat to this, and that is presently they only accept payments through check and Bitcoin. I talked to the marketing department. I know they're working on making it so that you can pay with like PayPal or debit cards or whatever. They're working on that, but it's not quite in place yet. If paying by check or Bitcoin isn't an option, give them a little time. I know they're working on it. Or you can go to any of the Bitcoin exchanges that are out there, and you actually buy Bitcoin pretty easily. But honestly, like, again, they're not paying me anything on this other than just giving this little sample. I'm not getting a kickback on any of the purchases, none of that. But they asked me to make a video, and once I tried it for a few days, I had no problem saying, yeah, I'll definitely make a video, because I really think that what they've got here is a great product, and I highly recommend if you've got joint pain, give this stuff a look. It's definitely worth it. So again, I'll put the link down in the description. I'll put the discount code down in the description. Definitely check this out. And if you found this video helpful, informative, whatever, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. It really would mean a lot to me if you would do that. It helps me and the channel out quite a bit. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button. I'll be talking more about this kind of stuff, as well as just kind of the day-to-day life of living with Wegener's and some of the stuff I've had to go through, and I'll be talking about comas and doctor visits and just all the craziness I've gone through over the last couple of years. So if you want, hit the subscribe button. That would be awesome. And I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here, but thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you in the next one.